Alright, what's going on, Guy Nation? I'm your host, FG, and welcome to an FG Play stream. And this might catch some of you by surprise, because this isn't our normal streaming spot. Normally, we're over on Twitch, or more recently, I've actually been trying my sub-channel, FG Plays Official. However, I want to consider this stream not just a surprise, but a follow-up to what we covered previously, the Pac-Man Museum Plus. So, I'm sure, as everyone knows, more recently, there was the release of the Pac-Man World Re-Pac, which is a remake of the original Pac-Man World. And I've been playing this in my free time. The reason I didn't stream or record it is because I feel like it didn't have a whole lot to talk about this one as opposed to the Pac-Man Museum Plus. Overall, though, I'm really impressed with this game. I think it's an absolutely solid remake of the original Pac-Man World. And I would dare say I actually had a lot more fun with this one as opposed to the original. It's definitely the one that definitely needed a remake. Just like the original game though, but slightly different, is that once you beat the game, you have access to the original Pac-Man. And this is where we're brought here for today's stream, because I'm playing on the PS5, and it would seem that there's a very particular achievement when it comes to this game. What achievement's that? Well, if we go down to the menu, it's called Retro Gamer. I feel like this is a call out. But no, the achievement is clear round 9 of the original Pac-Man. Meaning, in order to get this silver achievement, I think it should be worth a little more, just saying. You need to clear 9 rounds of the original Pac-Man. And I believe I think that's the point where it plays all the coffee breaks. Because there's a total of 3 coffee breaks in the original Pac-Man. I believe that's where the third one takes place. So the mission for this stream, if possible, is to get to round 9 of the original Pac-Man. Now, this is something, quite obviously, I was not able to do when it came to the Pac-Man Museum Plus. And my skills for the original Pac-Man are a bit of a mixed bag, honestly. I can get close, but I can't say there's going to be a guarantee I can get to round 9. But the point is, I see this achievement, I see the name, and by God, I want to go for it. And rather than doing this on my other channels, I figured this would be a good point to stream it here for you guys. Also, a bit of an opportunity to say, hey, where have I been? And if people do tune in, if there's any questions, I'll be sure to answer them. As always, though, this is an FG Play stream, so I'll be reading off the chat as it comes along, so if you're watching live, feel free to tune on in. Whether I keep this on my main channel or post it over on the FG Plays Official, I'll decide later on. But let's not waste any more time. So, of course, our objective here is to go for this Retro Gamer achievement. Because by God, I'm going to live up to this name. So let's just get straight into the game. Which we're back into it. And if I do finish this early, I do want to try the marathon mode of the Pac-Man Re-Pac mazes, which I have a bit of a problem with them, but they're decent. As far as remakes go for the original Re-Pac stages, I'm impressed. But alright, so familiar screen, we got Pac-Man, of course. This is the authentic ROM that they pulled straight from Pac-Man Museum Plus. Everything you see is just like it came out of that game, so, like I said, it's kind of like an encore. And we're just playing traditional Pac-Man. And before we start, though, I do want to see something. I know YouTube is very different compared to Twitch and whatnot. And I want to add real fast. Pac-Man World. Alright, I'm going to add a couple of things real fast before we start. Alright, that should do it. Alright, let's do this. I'm hoping we can get this done quick, and it's not going to be too hard, but again, expectations in place, there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to get this. Let's just quarter up. And I will say, one of the things I mentioned back with Pac-Man Museum Plus was the coin system. It works, but later on in playing through it, I realized that, well, it's fine for traditional games like these, it's actually one of the later games that it becomes a bit of a problem. That's Pac-Man Battle Royale, because not only are you playing with 4 players, but that means 4 coins at the same time. If that's a game that you play a lot, then that's a game that's gonna easily eat up a lot of quarters. And say you're not even aware of it. Say you have some friends that come over, but you spend a bunch of stuff in the shop, or you've just been playing some of the other arcade games that you don't have enough coins. Well, that's the one game that's definitely coin heavy, so if you don't have enough, you're not playing Pac-Man Battle Royale. And we're off to a bad start. So, I mean, the coin system has its merits, but then it's also got its flaws. It is generous, though, if you do play a bit of the console games and then go back to it, but sometimes you just want to go straight into the arcade game and not have to worry about the coin system. So I do like here that they don't even do that at all, because I feel like they could have pulled a one up and went for Pac-Man's lives as the quarters. I was actually worried playing through the traditional maze mode in Re-Pac that it was going to use the live system that they used in Pac-Man World, where it actually didn't have a separate live counter much like Pac-Man World 3 or Pac-Man World 2. Instead, what it did was use Pac-Man's normal lives that were collected through the gameplay. So say you just started the game with Buccaneer Beach or Pirate Beach? I think it's Buccaneer Beach. You have your 3 lives. Well, when you go into the maze, you're using those 3 lives. It isn't treated separately from the main game. So if you lose a bunch of lives in the maze mode, that carries over back to the main game. And I can see why that's a problem, especially in the later levels, where if you lose all your lives in the maze mode, then you're gonna have a hard time getting through the stage, and if it's game over, you're restarting the whole stage, not just because of the maze. So I'm glad that Re-Pac did change that, so it was much more like Pac-Man World 2 and 3. But the biggest problem that happened as a result of that is that they kind of took out the one big thing and the one big gripe I have with maze mode for Re-Pac. It's the fact that it's treated like the traditional Pac-Man. Yeah, we're off to a bad start right now. That 3 hits, you're out. In the original Pac-Man world, you had your 4-hit system in the maze mode. And that was a big thing, especially if it came down to the gimmicks of the stages, such as the Space World's laser beams, or the cavern, the rocks falling from above. Because those are some of like the stage gimmicks that can feel pretty unfair at times, especially if you don't see it coming. And honestly, it's all here. You see the stage gimmick, sometimes you don't even notice it. But the big thing too that I really thought they were gonna fix is giving Pac-Man free motion. Just like normal Pac-Man, he's always moving, but if you were gonna keep those gimmicks in and change the life system, I would have liked it if you could have stopped Pac-Man on a whim. But instead, Pac-Man's always moving, and once you run to the obstacle, you lose a life. You don't even get the hit system because that was taken away. And you only get 3 lives, so sometimes it can be difficult, especially for newcomers. I feel like, especially for the newcomers, that's where it might feel a bit unfair. So I feel like, just to summarize, what they should have done was keep the 4-hit system, maybe not for the ghosts, but definitely for the stage gimmicks, but then allow you to freely control Pac-Man as you did in the main game. Because I don't understand if they're gonna have gimmicks like the falling rocks, the laser beams, so on and so forth, that can kill Pac-Man outright, and sometimes it feels like it's beyond your control because Pac-Man's constantly moving forward into the stage gimmicks. I don't know, I feel like that's something that should have been fixed. I don't hate the way it is now, but they certainly made it more difficult as a result. I feel like that's the one thing that the original game has, that the mazes in those ones were just a little easier because it had the 4-hit system. I do like, though, that you are able to zoom out of the maze, though, that you're able to see everything, though. Especially playing on a widescreen, it makes a big difference. It's just a small quality of life that goes a long way. Alright, we're on stage 3. Remember, we gotta get to stage 9 and beat it in order to get this achievement. Of course, I want to see it happen, but the further you get into it, the power pellets just stop working, and it becomes harder as a result. Not to mention, the ghosts certainly get much more wiser as you get further in, and they have their AI, of course. Blinky's always chasing you, Pinky tries to one-up, Inky's that mixed bag, but then Clyde is, of course, just Clyde. I don't know if I mentioned it, though, back when I did play Pac-Man, but they do have a bit of a pattern when you do start off the game. The first thing they do is they all go to one corner each. So from the very get-go, you'll see them each surround one corner in the map. From there, that's when their main AI starts to kick in, and you start to see the behavior of the ghosts. So look right now, you're going to notice that each one goes in 4 corners, and then they kind of turn for a moment there. That's when they initiate their behavior. And so you get a bit of a break in the beginning because that's when they're just going to the corners. But after that, if you can detect their patterns, sometimes it does make the game easier. But the difficulty really does come down to if you get cornered or if you rely, like me, on the power pellets. Yeah, look at that, I got cornered. Again, this is a game that's for everyone, but it still has its challenge, certainly. Alright. I wish the high score did carry over to the main game, because there is one little extra that you can get. I think it's called the Magic Key. I always call it the Wonder Key because of Smash Brothers, but that's just me. I think it's the Magic Key. In order to get it, you need 750,000 points across all the levels. And unfortunately, I'm just shy of that with 736. That's an achievement too, and might be one of the reasons that I might not be able to 100% Pac-Man World Re-Pac. Oh, that and the Galaxian bonus. Good God, I cannot get the Galaxian in the slot machine. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or if it's just made to be that difficult. Kind of like normal slots. Okay. Alright, this is gonna be rough. Nice, nice, nice. Get that a little bit just above here. Yes! Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is stage 6. So this is the second coffee break. We start to see that they're not really ghosts, they're more monsters. But what exactly does monster entail? I don't know how much in detail I remember going through when it came to Museum Plus. I think I got to that point, and that's just around when I stopped playing it. But no, I mean, there's some pretty big culture differences when it comes to what we interpret as ghosts, which is, of course, the spooky monsters that have the capes, like bed mattress over them, or, like, kind of like a yokai, monster. Really, regional differences do exist in things like these. What we perceive as a ghost may be different from what others perceive as a ghost. So on and so forth until the discussion continues. Alright, awesome. I always consider their monster forms, though, more of Pac-Man arrangement, where you see them mutate into these much more sinister beings. So, when I think ghosts, I really do think that traditional ghost of, ooh, spooky, ooh. But then when you hear monster, I do think of the Pac-Man arrangement versions, because you see, they're not necessarily ghosts, but they merge with, like, these other beings. A bull, a rabbit, this thing with sunglasses, and whatever the heck Clyde's supposed to turn into. I mean, he is called the Crybaby, but still. Come on, come on, a little more, a little more, a little more. Oh! Come on! Alright. This could still happen, though. We're in a good position. Ah! This is what I'm saying about getting cornered. Alright, watch out for Blinky. A little bit extra. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is stage 8. We need to beat 9 in order to get this achievement, so it's not looking too good right about now. I'm gonna try to focus on getting as much dots as possible before the pellets. Go for it. Something I noticed in Re-Pac, I don't know if it was present in the original Pac-Man world, but it is definitely present here. Whenever you get the power pellets, they go into their Zeke mode, which is what you call the blue. Oh, come on! Come on, Inky! Alright. I think that was stage 8. You know the drill. Quarter up, do it again. I want to try to get this. But anyways, so they go into that Zeke mode. But in Re-Pac, once it expires, once Pac-Man's back to normal, they do like a quick little turn and go the opposite direction. I don't think that's present here. Here, I think they just continue going forward. Yeah. I don't know if that's just something they didn't think of, something that happens as a glitch, or if it's intentional that they always turn around when the pellet expires. I don't get it. It's a weird choice that they went with. Maybe it was just a chance for the player to escape if they're like in a tight squeeze, but it feels very abnormal, like unexpected. Like I don't... there we go again, getting cornered. Alright, I want to go for it. Alright, we got a life down. It's only the second stage, so it's not looking too hopeful. I believe in Pac-Man Museum Plus, one of the achievements in the game, not by leaderboard, but rather by the in-game achievement system, was getting to level 8 or 16. It might have been... No, I don't think it was that far. I think it was level 8. But I know they had a very similar achievement that was baked into Pac-Man Museum Plus. But here, it certainly feels like it's leaning more on the harder side. I wonder if that was due to criticism from Museum Plus that they wanted achievements to be a little harder, or if they just really wanted to give it like a challenge. But I don't think this is certainly worth silver. I feel like this should be a gold achievement at most. Alright, so 2 stages, get a coffee break. You know the drill already. Let's have a play out. Neat. Alright, watch where it goes. Alright, so we got the 1-up. You know, I don't think it actually gives me any more after that. I know depending on the way that you flip the dip switches in the cabinet, sometimes you could get more than 1 extra life. Sometimes I believe it was 2 at most. But it was more about changing at what score do you get the extra life. Because you can make it happen... Oh, come on! You can make it happen sooner, you can make it happen later, or you can even just opt out of it entirely and not give the player an extra life based on score. Which, at that point, why are you giving the machine quarters? They're just being unfair to you. But no, they would actually do that way back when to make the game artificially more difficult. By not giving extra lives, of course, you get the drill, you can game over sooner, put more quarters into play. Even way back when, they were finding ways to squeeze quarters out of players. And it wasn't just Pac-Man, even some of the other games too, whether it have small tweaks related to either the score or difficulty of the game. I do know also, though, at times, they would also change the gameplay, especially when mod kits became common, and the way that Miss Pac-Man was conceived. I know there were some versions of Pac-Man where they sped him up majorly. Pac-Man would be going almost 3 times the normal speed compared to the Ghosts. Not only would it speed up the game marginally, but it would help to see what else there is to offer with the game. I like the faster speed that exists, but... I mean, it's clear that it's not the original. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those, like, novelty tricks that you can add as, like, a cheat mode or something. Alright. Oh, that's what I'm saying again about getting cornered. It's only the first stage too, so it's not looking too good. Alright, awesome. So I'm certain I probably already mentioned it back with Pac-Man Museum Plus, but I'm sure I mentioned that Pac-Man isn't my favorite game in the Pac-Man series. The honor, of course, will always go to Pac-Man Arrangement, just because of how diverse the gameplay is. But if we're talking the traditional Pac-Man sense here, then I feel like Miss Pac-Man is the better game of the bunch. Not only does it take the streamlined gameplay of what made Pac-Man popular, but it adds new levels on top of it. There's 4 total. And it makes Pac-Man a female player, Miss Pac-Man, which at the time, it was generally well perceived that it helped get women into the arcade and introduce more female gamers. I feel like, though, it just felt like it was different enough and had more to it, where the original Pac-Man, you can only play the same stage over and over again where it starts to feel the same. And of course, that would set another standard moving forward that you couldn't just do the same thing over and over again. You had to change it up. And I feel like after that point, Donkey Kong to an extent too. I mean, Donkey Kong did have 4 levels way back then. If you were doing like the one screen arcade thing over and over again, it wouldn't be enough to keep players playing the same game over and over. So you had to do something unique and original with it, whether it was more leveled, varied design, or just something to entice the players. I feel like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man more specifically, was one of those turning points in what an arcade game should be. Especially when it was perceived as a way to get more quarters out of Pac-Man after the success was starting to run a bit dry. And the thing is, it wasn't even Namco that understood this, it was some college creators that made Miss Pac-Man. The official follow-up, I still don't think isn't the strongest. Super Pac-Man, in comparison to Miss Pac-Man or even the original Pac-Man game, just isn't that good of a sequel. Again, I don't hate it, but when you really do compare to Legacy of Pac-Man, you could tell that it's a far cry from what players wanted. Maybe American players, I can't really say how it was perceived in Japan, but if the original creator of Pac-Man was quick to disown it as not being that good of a sequel, then it kind of speaks to the legacy of Super Pac-Man and just how big Miss Pac-Man became. I still can't believe, though, that Ant Games has the rights to Miss Pac-Man through some legal loophole. It's not fair, man. I don't like Pac-Mom. I'll take Miss Pac-Man any day. I do not like Pac-Mom. Do I hate it? No, but I certainly don't love it. It's a fake family. It feels too fake. It's certainly out of character, especially with like the white irises. I know Miss Pac-Man has also fluctuated with that, I guess you would call it a classic design, where it's got like the blue shoes. Many have already made this comparison, but honest to God, it looks like Pac-Man in drag. It's not a good look. I feel like the red bow, lipstick, and the heel-type boots in red suit the character well. And more importantly, it feels natural to Pac-Man as a character. Only when it's different enough, though, because if it's not different enough, then it really does look like it's Pac-Man in drag. But I really don't like the cover for it. Pac-Mom, it feels too different to be a good thing. I know there was a YouTuber that did like a whole video talking about the disappearance of Miss Pac-Man. And one thing I didn't actually know about is that Japan did have a bit of a different version for a while. I think it was called Pac-Girl or something like that. But it had like a more sporty vibe to it. It was in like a ponytail. It still had the blue shoes. I feel like that could have been a more streamlined design of Miss Pac-Man. And one I would certainly prefer more, especially with like the Pac-Man eyes, than Pac-Mom. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Alright, this is not the run for the achievement. And I guess that extends to Pac-Sis. And I finally did get the name right. I know some pointed out that I couldn't say it right back when I played Pac-Land. Or even Pac... Dang, I want to call him Junior, but it's no longer Junior. Pac-Boy, maybe? Not Pac-Brother. Pac-Brother is just weird. I think it's Pac-Boy. See, Pac-Boy works. I feel like it's still similar to what Junior looked like. The only thing he's missing is the, what do you call those beanie hats that have, like, the helicopter wheel on it? I feel like it still stays true to what Junior was, though, and it still feels like him. But I feel like Pac-Sis, Pac-Mom, they're too different to be good. They feel like completely different characters trying to substitute the role of the original Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Baby, both of which were part of the Pac family legacy from the arcade era. That includes Professor Pac-Man too, the only one that didn't get touched by this at-games fiasco. I'm genuinely surprised that they still have Professor Pac-Man after all this. I do wish, though, he was a little more portrayed like his Pac-Man World 2 form, where he's like, Pac-Man, Pac-Man! But I get it, it's Pac-Man World. But no, Professor Pac-Man's game in the arcade was not a good trivia game. Even playing emulation to get that little bit of footage I needed for the video. If anyone watched it, of course, though, but it always felt like it was unfair for a trivia game. Whether it wasn't enough time, or whether it just didn't feel like very good questions. And I feel like that part's important, especially having good questions. Alright, this is stage 5. We're already down to having 2 lives left, so that's not too good. Alright, watching for Inky. I'm wondering if I should focus on the bottom. On the bottom first, and then go for the top. No, because they still swarm regardless. Like, yeah, look at this. They're already all over me. A little bit. Tight squeeze. Good. Yeah, see, look, they're all in one spot. Get it. This is good. Alright, fall Clyde. Clyde doesn't know what he's doing. Buy time. Ooh. Okay. Yes. Okay, stage 6. Perfect. There's still a chance. Ugh. Alright, here comes Inky. Good. Alright, so I focused on the bottom first. That got a little bit of down low. Now let's go for the top area here. Then use the power pellet to make my escape. Alright, this works a little better. Go for the tight spots first. Okay, here comes Pinky. Good. I'm hoping that Re-Pac did successful enough that, at the very least, they'll consider remaking Pac-Man World 2. I can't say so much for Pac-Man World 3. I feel like that's one of those where it might be a little hard to do a remake for, just because of the narrative and the overall feel of it being very different from the first 2 games. I already mentioned it before, but I wasn't the craziest about Pac-Man World 3. Am I not giving a fair chance? Maybe. I feel like, though, it was a deviation from what came before it. I've grown a bit softer to the combat mechanisms of it, but it just feels samey after a while. It's not enough to keep my attention. I will say that I do like Pac-Man's writing, voice acting to an extent, but he had some funny quips to him. I liked some of the stuff that he would say. It was like very funny, like, it felt in character is the best way to put it. Oh, come on! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that was stage 7. Oh, dang it, game! I need this achievement. All right. Take a breather. And quarter up. I need to prove myself here. So after playing Re-Pac, even for a little bit, I can't help but feel like that playing through Pac-Man, the original, I feel like I'm moving a little faster than I used to. I don't know. I feel like Pac-Man's faster for some reason. I can't explain it. Alright, let's keep this going. See, losing that first life's definitely not doing any good. I'm gonna need that extra life the further I get in, because it gets more difficult. The further you get, the harder the game becomes, and before you know it, then you're running out of chances to... Okay. Yeah, Inky didn't... Now he turned around. It's leaving that little bit that's gonna make it harder coming back to. A little more. Perfect, perfect. So I still love Pac-Man Museum Plus for having the arcade accurate bezels. I like seeing the American version of Pac-Man. One thing that was noted though, and I believe I did mention it in my final thoughts, is that unlike other Namco Museum games or even Pac-Man collections, surprisingly, you can't change the bezel. You're locked into having this version of it. In some ways, it actually really does suck. I can understand some that maybe want the Pac-Man design, or maybe just want it more traditional, or even don't want the bezel entirely at all. But you can't change that, it's locked in. One other thing I've noted in more retrospective reviews of Pac-Man Museum Plus is because it was in Unity Engine, they couldn't do a whole lot when it came to like scan lines or other sort of like shaders. And I see where they're coming from for that. Personally, if I'm playing off emulation, I like to try to mimic the CRT the closest I can. There's only so much you could do on a Raspberry Pi though before you find that the CPU doesn't hold up the strongest. But in any case though, I can see where they're coming from, and while I do get that, I feel like it depends on how you play. If you're playing off a TV, I'm personally fine with the way it is right now. Maybe changing the bezel, sure, but I mean, I don't hate this. I feel like it should be... How did he even get me there? I feel like there should certainly be choice in the matter, having options. But I don't think it necessarily breaks the package. I feel like it's a bonus that maybe it should be included because it's to a higher extent. I mean, if you see other collections doing it, there's no reason that this one couldn't have it, especially others from Namco that have come out. But say, for example, the Namco Museum for the Switch had the ability to rotate the entire screen. I feel like that was made in relation to the Nintendo Switch when you take it portably, because you're able to rotate it that way. I don't know what context you need upside down for some reason. I don't know, maybe you're just having a really weird day. But I feel like just giving you choices like that. It doesn't make sense if you're playing on something like a PlayStation or an Xbox. PC, it depends on the computer, or say you're playing off an arcade cabinet. But I don't see why it needs to be there. I feel like it's just a neat little bonus. But the Switch, because you take it with you on the go, maybe you want to play in vertical mode to have that little more screen estate because it's an arcade game, of course. I feel like maybe it could have been added in there. Should it have been added? It's ultimately a subjective question. Some think it should have because others have done it before. Others say it doesn't really break it, so what's the point? So for me, it's a mixed bag. I just think maybe there should have been a couple more bezels. But I do like that we finally did get the arcade accurate Pac-Man bezel. I do like that. I wonder though if it was handled differently with the Japanese version of the release. If they used the Pac-Man design, or if that one also had the Pac-Man American design. That must have been a weird conversation for some playing in Japan, thinking, this isn't Pac-Man. Probably call it like Santiago, like the classic Sonic meme. This ain't classic Sonic, this is Santiago. Alright, let's see. We've been doing this for, holy shit, 30 minutes. Telling you, man, I need this achievement. I need this achievement. Gonna turn around? Nope. Now they turn around. There's gotta be like a pattern here, something I could follow along that maybe I'm not doing right now that could maybe make this easier in the later areas. The big thing, of course, is being surrounded. So, is there a way I can focus on some spots that might be more prone to... It's hard to say. Generally, it is hard to say. Some players, though, have found patterns where if you wait in just the right spot at the right time, you'll see the ghosts go into like this loop of sorts where they're constantly in like this flux where they think they're on the Pac-Man or are simply following their code, but in reality they're just going into endless circles. There are ways to pull it off depending on when they're Oh, come on! It's right there! But there are moments where you can pull it off. I've never done it personally, but I know it is possible. Come on, game. Good thing this isn't authentic. I can't think of how many dollars I'd be willing to go through to try to get to level 9. People did it though way back when. Back when 25 cents didn't seem like anything, but now you kind of need the money to scrape by. Okay, ghost. Lays and ghosts and Pac-Man's gonna eat them all up. So I never did actually show off the jukebox in Pac-Man Museum Plus, but it actually had quite a bit of extra music that was included when they were celebrating, I believe it was Pac-Man's 40th. Oh, come on! But Pac-Man's 40th. The big theme, of course, was Join the Pac, but it turns out they had a bunch of other ones too. The credits of Museum Plus actually uses something called Pac-Man Never Packs. And it's actually still been in my head quite a bit since hearing it, especially the saxophone solo parts. Bum bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum bum. It's so good. Pac-Man Re-Pac actually did something very similar. It turns out they had another anniversary theme that they used for Pac-Man, that they used for the credits in this one. And that was good too. I actually really wasn't expecting it. I'm actually surprised that they even did original credits, because the original Pac-Man World's credits were just the FMVs done over with the credits. Which, I didn't want to bring it up here, but I do think it is important. One big issue that was brought to attention with Re-Pac is that they did not credit the original creators of Pac-Man World. Now, normally in today's times, this is something that you think would already have been covered, like they already went through all the bases. But no, surprisingly, it's 2022, and they still can't give the proper credits to those who deserve it. So, I hope that eventually Namco will address it, but as it stands at this time, the original creators of Pac-Man World have not been given any credits in this remake. And I get it, maybe some will say that it's a remake, it's not the original, so do they deserve to be credited? Well, many of the ideas, some say even the very placement of the pellets is one-to-one with the original game. I can understand when a remake does like creative liberties or try to take like their own spin. I feel like that's when you have a remake. Pac-Man World isn't really just a remake. I feel like it leans more on the remaster territory, because it's already taking a pre-existing idea and simply building upon it. It isn't just building it from the ground up. Because if that were the case, this would be a very different game in comparison to the original Pac-Man World. But the very core gameplay, the level design, the enemies, all that is still here. Have there been changes? Of course. I mean, I love the new Pac-Man design. And I like some of the extra additions that did to some of the stages. It's that small quality of life stuff that goes a long way. But it still is Pac-Man World to its very core. Maybe not the same as some remember it way back when. I know certainly it's different from what I remembered as a kid. But it is still the game. So I think it only makes sense that they should have been given credit in some way, shape, or form. But they weren't. As of the time of this live stream, there hasn't been any official update to the game, any tweaks or changes. The original creators still remain uncredited in this remake. And that's a real damn shame, especially if it happened in 2022, where we've had even some of the worst remakes of games, like Sonic Colors Ultimate, but at least credit is given where credit is due. I feel like this extends to anyone, not even making video games, even maybe playing video games, or even other mediums too, like maybe movies, for example. If you're not given the credit that's due, then let's just say that there's going to be a very angry mob coming after you on Twitter. Alright, that's enough of that. I feel like I ranted long enough for the credits fiasco. I do hope that they will address it eventually. But they need to do something, because as it stands right now, that's pretty unprofessional. Alright, this has been the best run so far. We're on stage 3, and we still have all our lives. And I think I'm just about to get the 1-up. Alright, watch out for Pinky. Focus down low, then go back up top. Perfect, perfect. Oh, yes. Yeah, this works. All right, there we go. Nice and easy. All right, go back for the hard spots. They're about to change. Holy! Oh, they're planning something. Okay, here comes Blinky. All the way down. Yes. Alright, stage 4. All our lives, so we're doing really good right now. If I play my cards right, I think this is it. In the words of Mario, oh, he's looking out for some food. It's still surprising me to this day that they got Charles Martinet doing the voice of Mario to be the commentator of Pac-Man Versus. I'm glad it finally did come out for the Namco Museum, even though I'm still looking for my friends, which I do know one finally does have a Nintendo Switch, wink wink, to be able to play Pac-Man Versus on modern systems. It does suck though that you do need an extra system just like it was back then. Well then again, that was the Game Boy Advance, you have to buy a whole extra system to play it. But I don't know. I mean, I would really love to revisit it. Alright, got it. Alright, that's for stage 5. Okay, we can go 4 more stages and win. Then this achievement's in the bag. Okay, watch out for Inky. Got it. Okay, here they come. Go around. Careful. Oh. Get that a little extra bit. Good. Follow suit. Apple of the day. Okay, Blinky's on the move. We got no one down low. Yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is stage 6. We got all our lives, stage 6. This is looking promising. I like the direction this is going. Okay, watch out for Clyde. Okay, here they come. Alright, good. So a little bit of an Easter egg, but many may not know it. Way back when with the old capture cards from Elgato, one of the very first things it would direct you to when you're making a new capture for the first time is the game Pac-Man. And I believe they would call it My Great Game or something along those lines. But Pac-Man was always the default for Elgato capture cards. I don't know if that's the case nowadays, but it's just cool that that was the go-to game that they used for the capture cards. It's a small little bit of trivia that's probably not important, but I'm sure some will get a kick out of it. Nice and easy. We still got 2 lives. We were stocking up on that extra one we had. Okay, good. By time, we're gonna go low. Oh, here they come. Don't go that way. Oh! No. We still have a chance. Don't go that way. Oh, they're swarming where I need to be. No. Wild card. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is stage 8. So we need to beat this and then the next one. This is the furthest we got so far. Alright, power pellets are not going to work anymore. Buy a little time. Alright. I can do this. Yeah. No! Why do you turn around, Clyde? Alright. I should be able to follow Blinky up top here. Yeah. No. Okay, good. Turn around. Alright. That was stage 8. This should be stage 9. So I need to beat this to get the achievement. And of course the Galaxian is a cameo to the Galaxian series, which I believe actually predates Pac-Man. I think it was 1980 or 1978 was Space Invaders. I think it was 1980. Alright, get me out of here. Oh, she's coming back. Oh, I don't like this. Come on. Was that it? Please tell me that was 9. Was that it? Please tell me I'm counting right. There's the last coffee break, so monster. Yeah! I am the retro gamer! Alright. Let's just see how far I can go now. We got it! We got the achievements! Yeah, living up to my name! Alright. Oh, I wanted that. The one thing that pisses off the most Smash Brothers players, the Galaxian. And the key. They really don't like the key. Alright, let's see how far we can take this. Alright, nice. So some versions of Pac-Man actually do let you continue. I don't mean in an arcade sense, I mean more of if you get game over, then you're able to continue off the last stage. I think they actually do this with the iOS and Android ports. The one that comes to mind is probably the one that's built into Pac-Man Roll for the DS. That was actually an unlockable bonus, and one of the first instances of where you could play Pac-Man with 2 screens. It was for Pac-Man Roll. Surprisingly, Namco Museum for the DS didn't have that dual screen option for Pac-Man. It was only ever used in the Pac-Man Roll bonus. But alright, folks, we did it! We did it! Audience of 0. That's the platinum. I want to see my trophies. Let's see. Which, if I could get that slot machine, then, I mean, I could get that achievement, but I'm just not good at the slot machine. Alright, show me it. There it is. Retro Gamer. 9 rounds of the original Pac-Man, only 1.8%. For those that don't think I live up to my own name, look no further, I am Retro Gamer FG. Namco, please take notes. Alright, let's see, we've been playing for 51 minutes. I guess we could try the marathon mode. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's a total of 36 stages. I feel like it might get boring, but I mean, that too is an achievement. I don't know how it works personally. We finished, so might as well give it a shot. Good thing I did this where it mattered though, because you don't get achievements in the Switch version of Pac-Man Museum Plus. Or even Pac-Man World for that. I do wish Nintendo had an achievement system at this point in time. They're the only system, unless you count Epic Games, that do not have achievements implemented. And, I mean, it's been a long time coming at this point. I feel like they're the one company that has been delayed with the achievement game. I want to show off my achievements. I want to feel like I've earned something. And right now, there just simply isn't a way to really do it. Come on, Nintendo, step it up. Alright. I don't think anyone's gonna watch this, and if they do, then generally, I thank you for your support. But I do think I should talk about what I've been up to on the channel. What I have planned, really, is the big thing, because, to be honest, I can't really say I know myself. But then also, what's to come. Alright. This is going to be very long. But it looks like you go until you run out of lives. But then again, I'm already stacking lives. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Or maybe you go until you get game over. Or maybe just play them all consecutively. It might just be all consecutively until you get bored of it. I really don't know how marathon mode works. But anyways. So, at this point in time, I am employed, I'm working, I am basically your average daily salary worker from 9 to 5. That said, I don't have as much time, even when I was in school, as I do for this channel. So whether it's recording footage for games, whether it's coming up with some ideas, or simply getting behind the camera. The only time I really have now is the weekends where I'm not busy with family ordeals. I like making videos, but sometimes I do feel like, is what I'm doing really worth it? Do people even care about the stuff I make? Because sometimes I feel like, am I only doing this for myself? Do people genuinely care? Sometimes you get these thoughts and you wonder, why do you still make it if no one, except for like 5 or 6 people, which if you are one of those 5 or 6 people, truly, sincerely, thank you for your support. But if no one's interested, or even the platform itself doesn't seem like it's interested in even showing your stuff to other people. It's a very different scene right now with YouTube, Twitch, and everything in between. It feels like growth is impossible. The most people that came in recently was actually thanks to vidIQ and their comment section. So shout out to them. Thanks to everyone that came in through there. But it's hard to gauge what it is that people want from me. Are they here for the gameplay videos? Are they here because of the vinyl videos I do? Do they like unboxings or anything of that matter? There's no way to really gauge the audience, because even then YouTube doesn't let me have access to the community features. And whenever I say like in the comments for the videos, not everyone comments. So I don't know what direction I want this channel to go in. If that's important to others, if they're even still around. Sad to say, but I generally do wonder. Sometimes I see like the dwindling viewer count, or sometimes the subscribers will either stagnate or I'll see them go away because I haven't posted in a while. But either I'm just busy, or I just don't have anything to cover, or even simply I just don't know what to cover. I feel like this is probably a problem that many people probably have, but probably haven't been the most vocal about. So I feel lost is the best way to put it. I don't know what I should do. Should I do a vinyl video? If so, I need to know what people want me to do. Do they want to see more modern stuff? Do you want to see the old school stuff like I've been covering? But then there all comes down to I need to have the games and collect the footage. That takes time sometimes, depending on the game. At one point, I was actually considering doing Earthbound Mother, but that takes a long time to cover. And I feel like at that point, people were going to run out of patience. The biggest one, of course, was the Hollow Knight vinyl. But even then, I don't think anyone really seemed like they were interested in that one. Maybe it's because I was too slow to the punch on that one. Maybe I took too long with the footage. So I just feel like, what do I do that people want to see, that they generally want to see? And is what I'm doing, does it feel like it's what people are into? The biggest thing, of course, is always trying to differentiate your content. I try not to be the same as any other, but even then, again, YouTube, Twitch, very competitive. There's only so many ways you could do it differently. But I still try. Generally, I do try. So that's where I stand with the channel right now. As far as planned stuff, there's a couple more vinyls coming out later on. The one I do want to name drop will be Fantasy Star from Ship to Shore. If Scott Pilgrim ever comes in, of course I'll do that one. As far as unboxings though, we don't have any new unboxings at this time. Nothing that's come out that's captured my attention that's worth covering. So nothing of that matter. Gameplay sessions, I do want to go back to some arcade games. I don't know though, after covering Museum Plus, if that's something that people would be interested in. Every now and then I do see some old comments from some of my older videos of way back when that they are generally glad. That's good now, but where was that like 3 years ago? I mean, some things catch on slower, sure, but I'm just wondering what's the right direction to take. And I know at this point no one's watching me in the stream, whether they're gonna watch me later in the archive, still up for debate. So, I mean, that's really where I stand with the channel. I don't want to give this up. I like doing this stuff. I have a lot of fun when it comes to things that people really do enjoy. And I like being able to engage with people, even if right now there's no one. I feel like I want to talk to people, but do they like the same things I like? Is this considered a niche category? Or am I just generally boring? Which I hope it's not the later. But really, it all comes down to the biggest obstacles are whether I have the time to do it, or if what I'm doing is even right in the first place. Alright, so it looks like this is going through all 36 stages, and I don't know how long that's going to take, actually. But I'm for it. We'll continue playing. If I have to take a break at like the halfway point, then I think I'll do that. Because I will say, sometimes it does feel like it drags on, especially it's the super pellet ability. That I like that it's here, but sometimes I feel like it takes way too long to get into. I wish there was like a sped up version. You see him do like his little animation of going big and then it slows down. Even shrinking too. My biggest gripe though is that I think they should have had like, it shows how much time you have left, because sometimes it's hard to tell with the Zeke form how long you have, especially if you're in zoomed in mode. It can be hard to gauge. So I wish I had like a timer, like maybe where Pac-Man's health is, that shows how long the super pellet is going for. Nice and easy though. A little more. Perfect. But no, if you're able to chain it, you can stay in the big form for a long time. I wonder... Okay, no. The high score is just overriding what came before it. So it's not going to stack what we had before. So if I can eat more of the ghost, this might be able to go for the magic key. We should try that. If I get close enough. Nope, they're running away. Can I try to bring them to me? No, Blinky roll. Yeah, see, like, that's what I mean. He goes small, then he gets big, and it's like that time in between feels like kind of delays. Like it drags a little bit. And there we go, then they turn around. They're like right on my tail. Woo! Love his little dance that he does there. Alright, bring it on. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about earlier when it comes to the stage gimmicks. This is where I wish we had the multi-hit system, because when you're running from the ghost or you just can't time it right, you can't stop. So it feels very unfair when you do get hit, because it felt like it was out of your control. If the ghost is on you, you can't turn around, you're dead. You can't stop in your tracks, because you keep going. So this is a gripe I have. Actually, looks like the stage never saved my high score. I wonder what that's about. Ah! Okay, so it really is. Oh, it is using my life count. Yeah, it's using my lives. That's not good. So, if I came in here with like 5 lives... Oh, that would suck. That would No, you can't Yeah, that sucks. If I could get 2 more lives, though, I think that is another achievement. I'm telling you, the hardest achievement by the looks of it for me is the Galaxian on the slot wheel. If I can just get the Galaxian, I think that'll be enough to platinum the game. Because I can do all this other stuff. I'm doing the marathon mode. I feel like I just got one of the harder achievements being the original Pac-Man. But it's the slot machine, man. I have to look up a guide for that one. Alright, big mode. Alright, keep it going. Oh, another thing I do want to mention too about Re-Pac, I generally do like the soundtrack. It's one of those things where it feels very much like the, this game came out in, I believe, 1999. But you could say it is reminiscent of the 90s. Just before the millennium, before that becoming like its own established type of feel. But it feels very much like a relic of the past in the best way. And the fact that it uses the motifs of the Pac-Man arcade game, the Miss Pac-Man arcade, is really cool to hear. Genuinely. While I do think that Pac-Man World 2 has the better soundtrack, I still think what we have here is great too. Buccaneer Beach has always been one of my favorites since playing the original way back when. And the fact that Re-Pac has it without that weirder form, because I don't know if it's related to the clock speed of the PlayStation or if it's just something with the gameplay, but it's out of tune when you play it. But if you listen to it, it's just normally, it sounds like the way it should. I don't know what the cause for that is, why it happens. Maybe it is because of the clock speed of the PlayStation. But if you play it in Pac-Man World, you listen to it in the CD, it sounds very different. But then you play it in Re-Pac, it sounds like the way it should have. Some people may like it better with Pac-Man World, the original, but I'm glad that it sounds better here. I feel like it just makes a little more sense. Alright, here comes Blinky. Don't. Oh, come on! Alright, go for it. Alright. Woo! Okay, I love that little dance he does. Pac-Man in space! A little more. Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna get that magic key, my best bet is to combo the ghost. But even then, they only do so much. A little more. Yeah, I know he's gonna turn around. See, they always turn around. That's good. I think it helps on the stages where there isn't any gimmicks, just because it makes it easier to get to them and not worry about losing a life. Alright, so Pinky's gonna turn around. Not going for, I think that was Clyde. Yeah, that was Clyde. Get over here! Ooh, yay! Alright, finish the stage. There we go! Couple of extra points. It's still a long ways to get the, Oh. Cap blends down. It's still a long ways, though, to get the magic key. I want to see it happen, though. Alright, big mode. Munch, 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 munch. Wait for them. Get them. 3 points. Perfect. And clear. Alright, my guess this is the halfway point of the space stage. Let's see. Yeah, we still got more to go. Does it show the progress, though? Can I see how far I am in? No. No. Alright. Here we are. My least favorite gimmick of Pac-Man World's maze mode has to be these laser beams. I feel like they're worse than the rubble that happens on top of the cavern stage. It's no matter what, these gimmicks feel like they're always so hard to avoid unless you have the power pellet on you. And the worst is when you are cornered by the ghost. This is where I really do think it would have been better like the original, where you do have your 3-hit system. Well, actually 4 hits still. Alright. I'm not gonna get points for that one, though. Hey, at least I got the achievement, though, for the Pac-Man arcade version. Alright, I'll take it. Alright, I think this is the last stage for the Space Worlds. So once we get past this, I believe this should be... yeah, see, look at this. Zoom out. Get over here! Nice. Watch out. Okay, Pinky's gonna turn around. Yep. Let's focus with the giant pellet, though, so I don't get the laser beams. See, I still don't think, though, that after this it's gonna be enough to get the magic key. I don't think there's enough points that contribute towards the total. Even if I do eat all the ghosts. No. Again, the laser beams! Alright. Go big mode. Okay, get the pellets. Alright. Woo! You love to see it. Alright, was that the last one? No, this is stage 6. Alright, fine. One more before we get to the next world, and that's officially the halfway point. We've been doing this for an hour 10. You know what? We'll finish this off. Let's finish marathon mode, and then I think it's safe to call it a stream. We got what we were after, and then a little more. Right, watch out for the asteroids. So for these ghosts, they're going to turn around. And I noticed that. Here comes Pinky. Oh, cornered. Why? No. Alright, don't go for the middle because that's where they spawn. Yep. Go for the top here first, and then come back around. Why, Inky? Nice and easy. Right, can I get them a little closer? No. Ooh. Okay. Nah, you're too far gone. Alright, finish the stage. Alright, is this the halfway point? Yay! It's the halfway point. Alright, 6, 12, 18. We are stage 19 of the maze mode. I still can't believe there's 36 stages in marathon mode. Somebody thought this was a good idea for an achievement, or even just a gameplay feature for 100%. I still can't believe, though, it counts as the total life tally. So if you went into this with 5 lives, you'd be having a bad time, or it'd be called the ultimate challenge. I do believe, though, after this point, there aren't as many stage gimmicks. Yeah, truth is, I never did make it past the space world in the original Pac-Man World. So, all this was brand new to me outside of Pac-Man World. So, you could say that this was my first exposure with Re-Pac. And it works. It certainly works. I would love to go back to the original game, though, to see what it's like in comparison to Re-Pac, because I know there were some pretty subtle changes that were made over time. The big thing, though, for me, though, I did not take care of my disc games way back when. My Namco Museum collection especially, scratched to oblivion. Pac-Man World, there's a lot of issues with the music because of the scratches and the scuffs. Part of that is the reason I don't really like to collect physical CDs as opposed to cartridges. So, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, yeah, I'll collect those. But I try to hold off on stuff like the PlayStation, or the Xbox, or the Wii. Because I feel like over time, if you're buying some bad eggs that are scratched to hell and back, or even my experience, just poor management, I mean, you're only a kid once, that you're buying something that's not going to work, all because of the way it was stored. Discs are very much more prone to being damaged over time. Anything can expire over time. Even the cartridges do go bad, they become rotted. Disc rot is the term for the disc. I think it's called cartridge rot. But case in point, though, I feel like when it came to CDs, even still, I try to avoid them just because there's that risk that what you get isn't going to work the best way. I feel like with cartridges, they're a little more durable since the important part is on the inside, or rather the metallic pins. So they're much more durable as a result. So I feel like there's just a little more longevity to stuff like Switch cartridges as opposed to discs. But I do regret to this day that some of my stuff in my collection is scratched up so bad that it just doesn't work the way it should anymore. I would love to go back to some of those old games on stuff like the PlayStation, but they're just so scratched up that even if I try to like make copies of them to play for like RetroArch, they do not work. That's something that'll always bug me moving forward. Learn from me, viewers. Take care of your stuff, even if it's for the PS5 and Series X, because otherwise you might regret it one day. Alright, bring it on. One more. Yay! Zoom out. Don't use the tunnel just yet. The carnival actually reminds me a bit of Blacktown. It's that little motif in the music where it's like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It kind of reminds me of the console version of Blacktown. I guess you could call it the Toy Box World. It's like as much strife as I give the console version of Pac-Man arrangements, I do like the music. I feel like the music is certainly one of the best parts of the console version. I'll always go back to the arcade version though. It's my favorite version of Pac-Man. Nice and easy. Go big. Alright, clear. What else we got? Alright. But no, even so, the gimmicks here actually do remind me of the console version of Pac-Man arrangements. The park area, it would have those gates that open and close that it would prevent you from getting to certain spots. Nice and easy. Even the ghosts don't know where to go. Get it, get it. Yay. Munch. One more. Alright, good. Woo! See, this is giving me a high score for some of these stages. So it's gotta count for something, right? Alright, here we go. Personally, I think this is probably my favorite song of the Pac-Man World game. It takes the coffee break from Miss Pac-Man and makes it much more industrial. But I feel like the reason I like it is because it's just as catchy as that coffee break. Such a fun jingle. Funny enough, this area, rather than the sewer-like trance, does appear in Pac-Man World 3. It's the very first area in the game. I wonder what it would look like with the Re-Pac treatment if they try to make it more consistent with Pac-Man World. If it would look more like this, if it would still go for that ruin, apocalyptic, I guess is the right word. And not in Pac-Man sense, I wouldn't call it apocalyptic. Abandoned, I guess? Rustic? Maybe rustic. But had like the worn down factory elements. Green ooze for sure, certainly green ooze. He even makes a note of that when he's talking to Orson. Orson, are you by chance this very idiot of whom I speak? Nice and easy. If they ever do another Pac-Man World game, though, I want it to be in the vein of Pac-Man 2 or 3. More 2 with the extent of 3 because it did improve in some ways on Pac-Man World 2. But I feel like I want more 2 versus the original Pac-Man World. Even though this formula certainly does work. It does work. I just feel like I like 2 a little more than 1. Watch out for Pinky. Ah! Again, cornered! I do think I am going to look up a guide for how to get the Galaxian for the slot machine. I feel like it's the one achievement that's going to throw me off. I'm hoping that this maze mode will give me a couple more points that I need for the key. I mean, that would certainly speed up the process trying to play the slot machine over and over again. Alright, let's get some points. Come out, Ghost. Yeah. Get one more. Oh, get back, get back. 1, 2. Yeah, this worked in my favor. 3 points. Since they're far now, I can make my way up to this pellet with ease. A little more. Yeah! Things are finally looking good. Cloud's gonna turn back around towards me. Oh, it's over. I'm gonna focus on the pellets this time. But no, it's actually good to focus on this last because it does use the life counts. I almost thought that was going to be a bad thing I had so many lives, but it turns out that it does work in your favor, especially if you're not very good at the mazes. I'm just saying though, I really do think it should have been a 3-hit system. One more. Alright, I'll take it. Alright, use this so I don't have to worry about the gimmicks. Makes it nice and easy. Ah, I don't like that. Got it. Woo! Alright, I think this is probably the last level of the industrial. Ah. I hate the gimmicks so much. I hate them. These aren't fun gimmicks. These aren't fair. At least let me stop in my track. Honestly, again, after this retrospective and replaying Pac-Man Racing console version, especially compared to the Pac-Man World, I'm beginning to like it just a little more, just because at least in some ways its level design was fair. I still think it's a bit of a boring Pac-Man take, but at least it was fair with its design. It's the one thing I can give it. Like, I think I maybe was too harsh on it way back when. Still one of the weaker entries though, but at least it's fair compared to this. Alright, give me the points. Alright, 6 more stages. Take him out. Look at the point difference. Really, eating ghosts makes a big difference if you're trying to go for the score. He's gonna try to escape me. I'll just cut him off. Yeah. Nice and easy. Nice of the pellets. I'll take it. Back into the fray. Alright, let's count down. So, 6 levels, that was 6, and now we got 5 more. God, seriously, the music is great. What's down here? It's looking good, folks. It's looking good. Woo! Keep this going. Alright, and then the last gimmick, of course, is the dark, which doesn't really change a whole lot. Maybe if the pellets were dark, but you see the pellets. And even then, the trail itself is pretty well lit. So, I don't know how it was in the original, but certainly wasn't doing much here. Oh? Is this the one instance they didn't turn around? Pellet. Get him. Alright, get here, Inky. Nope, fine, just the one. Alright, there should be 4 stages left. You know, I never actually did see the game over screen yet for this one. I know I've seen it plenty of times in the original, but with all the live stacked, that's the one thing I haven't seen. I'm pretty sure, based on what I've heard, that Pac-Man does still appear during it. I know in the original, he would show up, he would change the title to Pac-Man World, and then it would say game over. It was fun. It was a fun little thing that they did. Show like, ha ha ha, I'm the Pac-Man. One thing I was surprised though is that they did change the wording of the cutscenes too. For example, you get the cutscene where Pac-Man's at the party. I remember the original was like, Boss, Pac-Man, Pac-Man's here on Ghost Island, the Pac-Man. But they changed it like the way it's, there he is, right there. It's weird. It's weird. All right, clear. Alright, this should be the halfway point of the Ghost Island parts. So we got 3 more stages. Get him. One more. Yay. Yeah. Come on out. 2 more. Yeah, 3 points. Oh, gimmick. Right, nice. Going. A little more. Oh, the flames. Wait for it. Good. Let's go. Grab it. One more. There we go. I'll take these points. Alright, 2 more stages. Counting this one, of course. Try to lure them in. That's it. Come here. One more. Ooh, oh, it was actually right on top of me. Yeah, that's probably a little too close for comfort. Get back a little bit. This one actually has the most ghosts, I believe. Yeah, it had 6 ghosts. Which could have been a good chance to bring back Sue and Funky, but they didn't. They didn't. Just duplicates of Blinky, Inky, Pinky, Clyde. Yeah, looks like it's 2 Inky and 2 Clyde. Yeah, that's not fun. They could have had Funky and Sue. Green and purple. I think we're long overdue for Funky to come back. I think his last portrayal was actually Pac-Man Versus. Here we go. Oh, that was the last stage. Okay, Maze Master. So that's all the mazes in the game, and playing them consecutively got us that last achievement. Based on the score, that did not affect the score, so fortunately I'm still shy of 750,000. And aside from that, let's see. Change it to not earned. I still need to destroy enemies with Pac Dots, Reveral, which bit of grinding per se. And then you get the platinum when you get the platinum. So then 99 lives, getting the magic key, 750,000, and then the Galaxians, which, wow, actually a lot of players have been able to do that. Yee. Alright. So that's where I stand with the game, but as far as what we did here tonight, not only did we get the achievement I was after, go me, but we also completed all the mazes in the game, so that's gotta count for something. Once again, I intended this stream to be as a follow-up to Pac-Man Museum Plus, to play a little more Pac-Man, but then also to go for that achievement. And as a bonus, we played through all the maze mode in Pac-Man World Re-Pac. So, whether you watch this live or in the archives, and I probably will keep this up on the main channel, maybe, I'll decide. But I just wanted this to also serve as a bit of where I've been. So, for those that did watch this, genuinely, thank you so much for watching. But that's going to do it for the stream. Now, normally our streams are over on Twitch or here on YouTube under the alias FG Plays Official. So, if I do more streams in the future, be sure to check them out there. This is probably one off for the main channel unless people do want to see more of it, but there's a time and a place for live streams, and I want to keep it separate from my main content. I feel like this is just something a little special because Pac-Man. Alright, that's it for me here. Thanks so much again, and as always, I'll see you all in the next stream. I'll see you guys in the next video, of course.